All right, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about the upcoming Wheel of Time TV series that is going to be coming out, hopefully within the next couple of years. But I want to voice my concerns really about where it can go. If you'd like to question on this video, if you'd like to ask questions, if you want to ask questions about anything else, I do random topics on other subjects, but I'm trying to make some videos about books I like to read. The first one I want to try to work around because it's the one I spent the most time on, and I thought was really, really good reading the whole series, and yes, I did, was The Wheel of Time. So if you want to ask any questions, get my insight on anything, because I'm going to be reading through The Wheel of Time again in the upcoming future to kind of do not exactly a chapter by chapter analysis or commentary on the book, but more of maybe take several chapters, like maybe 5 chapters at a time, and discuss the story as I continue to read it. So and I'm going to be doing that for the Wheel of Time, maybe some other books in the future. But if you want to ask questions until I get my name changed or really figure out the direction of where I want this page to go, I'm going to start putting out content that I feel is important. And if you want to have a voice in that, you can email me for the meantime at themichaelshornshow@gmail.com, like it says for the actual title of my channel, at gmail.com. So yeah, feel free to ask questions, leave a comment, do whatever, or you could even do it down in the comments, however you wish. But to get into the topic of it, so by now I know if you're probably watching this, it's because you've at least read through the Wheel of Time once before, or you're in the process of reading it. And if you're in the process of reading it, good job, you've encountered a really, really good book series. Don't put it down, make it through. The content is amazing, which is why I have concerns about it, because it is so good. The content, the material, the plot, synopsis, whatever we want to say, the general idea behind the story is what concerns me, because even more than that, what concerns me is the fact that not only is this a 14-book series, and the books are at an average about 700 to 800 pages per book, it's going to be interesting to see how Amazon decides to take this and build it, because one of the concerns being is that there are so many little things that are important that when you read it and reread it and reread it, you realize that there's a lot of things that are important. And the problem with TV shows is they'll leave out a lot of things that I feel are good and important to a story, that help to understand and develop a character, and they're going to minimize that by cutting content from the story, and that can obviously be problematic. Moreover, I think it's problematic because you could lose the feel of what the story is really trying to tell an audience, right? And one of the things, I guess, kind of spoiler alert. I mean, I'm not really going to try to give away too many spoilers. And if I do, I'll let you know, so we can skip ahead. And then I'll wave my hands like this to be like, okay, I'm done with the spoiler. So you know where I'm. But anyways, I mean, the basic idea behind the story is, at one point in history, men and women worked together. They were cooperative. And then men screwed up in a really serious way. And then women pretty much took over the role of, we're the protectors. So my only issue with it is my small, feeble-minded, masculine brain would like to see not destructive political feminism put into this story, because it's very, very easy to do that. Like, you think there's toxic masculinity, like, right? Okay, toxic feminism. So I don't believe that there's such a person as toxic masculinity. You know, I think being a man is necessary. And this story really portrays that idea in a non-political way, in that men need to be strong in their weakened state, and men, and for those of you who have read the book, you'll concur with this part, but that men and women need to work together to complete the final goal of the story. Men and women need to work together, not separate. You know, and I hate that I have to do that, say that, you know, because, you know, it's the truth. It's the truth that in real life and reality, that men and women are different, but men and women are equal, in that when one person does a thing, they are doing half the job. When a woman is doing a thing, she's doing half a job. When a man is doing half a thing, he's doing half a job. When they are doing a job together, they are both in combination doing a whole thing together as a team, as an equal. There is no other way to do it. You're only going to get, for one part to do a thing, you're only going to get something out of it half as good, is the idea behind it. So, in order for everything to work, men and women have to work together. In fact, everybody has to work together. Instead of bickering and saying, I'm right, you're wrong, in the story, everybody has to, at one point, come together for a greater purpose. And the two sexes do that together. So you can definitely see where this movie is going to run into problems with a lot of SJW types, because men and women are pretty much the same in the political world. So that's why I have a hard time worrying about it in the future, because you run the risk of taking a really good story that has a really good message behind it and distorting it so that it will fit your own specific political ideology. If you want to hear that kind of story, pick up a book that does that for you, that strokes that side of your ego. But you don't ruin a story by changing the story. If you want to embody your ideas in a story, you don't take an old story like that and make it your own. And if you do, you don't call a rose by another color, by another name. So it's the situation that, and we'll see this as I read the books with y'all, because I decided to get the books series for my nephew, and he's real excited to read them. I decided to buy the first 3 books for him, so as he's reading through it for the first time, I'm talking with him about it and how awesome it is. So hopefully I'll be able to do the same for y'all. I just wanted to be able to put out my concerns about where I think they could really mess it up. The SJW types could severely mess up the story, because it's such a good story with so much depth and character development and, studies into these characters' past that, to change those characters even in the slightest bit would ruin it, because the characters, and there's so many of them, have so much meaning to the full potential of the story, that this story, if you're going to do it, you do it exactly as it is. Because if you don't, you're going to ruin it. You're going to ruin it. I am willing to give you all of my money to make this TV series the best it could possibly be, because when you read this book, it is super visual. Like, it is amazingly visually and narratively. You could literally do so much. You could make this the best TV series to ever exist because of the material and content. It could literally break everything. But it's going to be up to y'all. Being able to voice your opinion on the situation. And hopefully going through this story in a way where we can hopefully see, the things that they're doing. And we want We want it to be good. I mean, whenever you get to the point of the Black Wind, or even the last battle, like you could ruin this story by adding a bunch of SJW nonsense. If you want the perfect feminist story, do the story as it is, to show that women and men can be equal. Because what this story shows is that women are on top in the story, yet things still don't work out well. Things still aren't perfect. Right? So if you want to argue that, if you're of the people that argue that, well, men control everything, that's why things suck, because of the patriarchy, right? In this story, they develop that women are in essence on top, and while things go normal just like you would for a guy, things happen to women just as if they were to men, which is again why the joining of the two in a team sort of way is the best way, because it shows that no matter what sex you are, you're being a single person on top doesn't guarantee success. What guarantees the best outcome is for both to work together as a team. And as the story says, the most amazing feats that ever existed happened when a male and a female use the one power together. So you could really ruin the story by putting in some ridiculous political beliefs. Just keep that one in. This is, if you want the true feminist story, or the true kind of utopian story, like how to get to that point, this is it. This is that story. So that's my concerns. I kind of rambled on a little bit, but I think we need to be careful. I think we really need to be careful. And we really need to let these people know that we want the story the way that it is. Because the way that it is perfect. And I hope we can discuss that in the years to come. So, if you like this video, like it, subscribe, show that, at least there's somebody out there who likes what I'm doing and can afford to listen to it. So, you all have a wonderful evening. All right, bye.